say have been given due attention by government.
The issue of young people is always high in government's socio-economic development agenda. Since young people, we would all agree, constitute a greater percentage of our population with roughly 42% under 15 years. The government, in collaboration with development partners, therefore have initiated a number of interventions to address the issues of young people countrywide. These initiatives include the Youth-Friendly Reproductive Health Services, funded by the United Nations Fund for Population Activities, the UNFPA, which provides reproductive health information and services to young people, enabling them to make informed choices and exercise their reproductive health rights.
Sound environmental management is seen as a key component of sustainable development, and because of the 7 billion people presently inhabiting the world, the ones coming in the future will depend on the health of the planet Earth. As such, the demand for food, fossil fuel and water will continue to increase as human beings increase in number. Another cause of concern to officials is the rising level of urbanization.
The last global challenge, fellow Gambians, is the rising levels of urbanization. Almost all future population growth, particularly in the next 40 years, will be absorbed by the cities of developing countries, that is the developing world. And these cities are unprepared for such a rapid expansion, particularly providing social services. Urbanization accelerates the trend towards smaller families and offers indeed more opportunities for women and young people. Overall, some 60% of urban growth is due to natural increase, with rural-urban migration and reclassification of land accounting for the remainder.
No one knows yet what the full scale of this global economic crisis will look like. But facts have shown that women and children in developing countries will bear the brunt of the impact. What started as a financial crisis in rich countries is now deepening into a global economic crisis that is hitting developing countries hard. It is already threatening progress towards reducing poverty.
When women and adolescent girls have rights and opportunities, families, communities, and nations will prosper. We have an opportunity and the responsibility to invest in the world's 1.8 billion adolescents and youth aged between 10 and 24. They constitute a quarter of the world's population, and almost 90% of them live in the developing world.
As officials remain optimistic that individual actions multiplied many times over can make a world of difference, together we are 7 billion people counting on each other. With the most interconnected population, young people are already transforming society, politics and culture, and by more actively engaging women and young people, we are assured of building a better future for all generations. For GRTS News, I am Aissatou Mane.
Well, you can follow that story and other GRTS programs live on our website at www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio live. A death verdict, a life sentence, and acquittals characterized Monday's proceedings at the Special Criminal Court. Ibrahima Jatta was there when presiding Judge Justice Joseph Anwar Ikpala delivered his ruling on several criminal matters, some of which involve capital offenses, and this is his report.
4 final decisions marked the day's proceedings at the Special Criminal Division of the Higher Court. The murder case involving Kilsering native Musa Ba was the first to be decided by the presiding Judge Justice Joseph Anwar Ikpala. Prosecutors brought charges of murder and robbery against him and presented 4 witnesses who gave evidence in the trial. They also tendered several documents and exhibits. Musa Ba allegedly murdered one Ibrahim Suso, a driver and caretaker, who was a tenant in his compound. The deceased is said to have owed the accused 3 months' arrears of unpaid rent. The accused, who asked the court for mercy after being found guilty, was later sentenced to death. The judgment of Abdul Kamara and Sana Kamara came next. Their case had been proceeding for 9 years since the two were charged with murder in 2002. Prosecutors had previously arraigned 6 people in the case, but later settled for the 2 accused, discharging the rest. The accused were alleged to have caused the death of Ansu Bojang, a Banyaka native who died after being severely beaten by a mob in the village. After reviewing the evidence called on both sides, the presiding judge said he believes the actions of the accused was responsible for the demise of the deceased. But the critical question, according to Justice Ikpala, is whether they were aware that their actions would result to the death of Ansu Bojang. Justice Ikpala subsequently resolved the issue in favor of the defense and in the final revealed that the court found the accused not guilty of murder but guilty of manslaughter. The accused, who have no previous conviction record, begged the court for clemency but were each handed a life imprisonment by the presiding judge, who reminded them of their right to appeal. Next came Charles Coker's turn to ascend the dock. Charged with attempted rape, 5 witnesses testified against him at the Special Criminal Court. Prosecutors also presented 2 statements in the case, but no medical report was tendered at the trial, where the alleged victim disclosed how the accused tied her mouth and held her down with one hand, using the other to undress her while they were alone in a classroom. Witnesses had also revealed that the alleged victim did not look ruffled when they came upon the two. In the final analysis, Justice Ikpala revealed that he believes it was the alleged victim who held the accused hostage rather than the contrary when they were alone in the classroom. Coker was later acquitted and discharged. Aliu Mba walked away a free man in the subsequent hearing at the Special Criminal Court. 2 counts of stealing and abduction were leveled against Ba, but his case had not proceeded since it was first mentioned on the 18th of May 2010. When the matter was called this morning, Justice Ikpala asked prosecutors what they intend to do with the case, which has been repeatedly adjourned since Ba's first arraignment in May last year. State Counsel FBT, who represented prosecution, disclosed that they are yet to receive a case file on the accused and cannot proceed as such. The presiding judge told the court that in the absence of a reason to reschedule the matter, there is no rationale in keeping the accused under custody. Justice Ikpala struck out the case and discharged the accused person. Ibrahim Ajara, GRTS.
Apart from amplifying the back to the land call made by the president, staff of GRTS also done their professional gadgets to help make the Gambia food self-sufficient. The broadcasters and residents of Bonto on Saturday stormed one of the corporation's farms to prepare it for cultivation. Modu S. Jallo saw the action in Bonto and reported the field is earmarked for coos cultivation.
This is one of 3 farms belonging to GRTS in Bonto village, with another in Somme, making it a total of 4 farms for the national broadcaster. It is seen as testimony to the broadcasting giant's commitment to the country's quest for food self-sufficiency. Determined to realize a bumper harvest and impressed by a presidential generosity in the form of a tractor, the GRTS staff, with massive support from the people of Bonto, cleared farm number 3, leveling the ground for the cultivation of coos come the next rains. With a fruitful relationship binding the community of Bonto and GRTS for over 3 decades, since the inception of Radio Gambia in 1971, the people of this Combo East settlement descended on this piece of land, and within a matter of time, the task at hand was successfully done, much to the delight of the GRTS officials. The alcalde of the village, Mamadou Lamin Kebe, spearheaded the clearing exercise. He commended his people for responding to his call in clearing all GRTS farms in the village. The fact that this latest piece of land allocated to the broadcasting giant has been left uncultivated for some 3 decades is something that Alkali Kebe believes make the plot an ideal one. He hailed the long-existing relationship between the community and GRTS, which has one of its main transmitters located in the village. Like many GRTS officials, Kebe remains optimistic of a bumper yield. The turnout registered by the women was impressive, and for Sute Mane, they are not the least prepared to be left out of the anti-hunger bandwagon. She used the opportunity to appeal to stakeholders in the agricultural sector to help them combat the high level of salinity threatening their rice fields. Wandifa Kanyi assured the youth of the village's readiness to help in both pre- and post-planting activities and challenged the young people to play an active role in the President's Back to the Land pronouncement. Satisfied and impressed with the pre-planting activities, Lamin Jawara, senior cashier and a member of the GRTS Agricultural Committee, reaffirmed his institution's drive to achieve a massive harvest from the farms. The national broadcaster, he said, is championing the Back to the Land call through its intensive coverage of agricultural activities, as well as disseminating the President's message.
Our campaign through television and radio make people to come out through His Excellency's court.